Welcome back to IXION. We continue with a full let's play from start to finish of the campaign, where I also show you how to get the most out of each chapter. We spent a lot of time in the first few chapters and we are now in chapter 3, where we have started to build a perfect food sector. I'm going to show it to you in a second, but before I also wanted to highlight that we have done most of the solar panel. As you can see, there are only 2 solar panels, one in each, that we can still do. Actually, I have the resource, we could do them now. So it is sector 5. I've already started to build. It's not finished. I'm still doing one more research, plus I may have to reorganize a bit over here, but it is already looking pretty good. We have over here a population corner, part of it. We are doing mostly the domotic quarters. This way we're going to get 3 points for the people living in domotic quarters, right? So that's great, that's there. Then I did add a couple of those cell housing, 3 to be precise. I mean, only 1 is built, but we have 3. Why? Because these ones can fit more people. This is 162 versus this one is only 112, right? This is also costing less, by the way, in terms of especially electronics, but you just need to make sure that this is not the majority, because this is very bad accommodation, right? It doesn't give you happiness. Then we're gonna have, as always, an infirmary. We have also the mess hall. Now, a mess hall fully upgraded can serve 1,400 people. So this is why you can see this right now only 6,600, but basically now we're gonna make sure that this stays below 1,400. So when I start building these, we can check that. We have then the alternative life center, and the fire station. At the bottom, we have a couple of different things. First, we're gonna do a water there. Actually, let me pause that water because right now we're not really using it. So we have 2 of these fusion station. We may end up with 1 at the end, but for now 2 is good. So it's gonna take our ice, transform it into water, and this is what's gonna fill this, right? We have a max 1,000 water, and it needs to basically really be created here. It cannot be moved somewhere else. Then we have just above the storage for ice. We have also storage for food that's going to be made over here. Right now I also have a couple, I have 100 polymer, but I think we're going to take them out. We don't need them in the future. I also have a couple of other resources here, like the alloy and electronics. But again, I'm not sure we're going to need them at the end. I mean, maybe a couple of alloy to repair things. We won't really need much more at the end. Some batteries, I have a mix of tier 1 and tier 2 that we could start building. Then our DLS center, obviously that's super important. We have done propaganda. We're also giving more food because I have enough food, so all good. You can see we are in positive most of the time. And I'm thinking we're gonna start the waste recycling, because this in the middle is going to create a lot of waste. Plus this is also going to create waste. That is good. We could potentially even then change one of those fusion station. Let me go here. We can transform, maybe unlock the water treatment center, and then we can use this waste to make more water, especially if we are in a place where there's not a lot of ice. Now, what is missing is I just unlocked the drone bay. This is going to be able to transport a lot of resource, and not just over here, but also across the other, sector. And so I'm thinking to be able to transport all of this food, that would be good. But as you see, this is taking a bit more space than what I have over here, which is why, again, I think we're gonna need to just reorganize a bit, which is fine. This is the name of the game, and I'll show you the final layout that will be perfect. Last but not least, in the middle over here, we have our farms. 4 crop farms that are fully upgraded with 9 crop field each. Right, so we're talking about quite a lot of yield. Right, this is 1.6 food per cycle for each of those fields. So this is definitely going to create a lot of food. We can check it soon when we put everything online.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Last but not least, I also wanted to mention that we have the genetic conatus memorial. It's giving us +2. This is this one over here. This is not giving us +1, this is giving us +2 because of 2 things. One is we have done the research over here, memorial cult of the vital impulse, which will give +1 stability if we have tier 1 food specialization. The reality is we do have tier 1 food specialization. We even have, if I'm not mistaken, tier 2. So that is making that the food production require 10% less water. They produce 30% more waste. And we have this benefit of +1, right, that I just mentioned. So that is really, really good. And this is how this city or this sector over here is actually a +5 happiness. In the meantime, we've collected a lot of resource on the map. There's not much left on that side. I think it's definitely time for us to finish some of these events and see what happens. So let's get started. We're gonna start at the bottom. and we can investigate many things over here. We have the vegetal zone, the animal pens, make a cautious approach, invasive breach, and just leave. Animal pen sounds like a cool stuff, so we're definitely gonna go there. Industrial zone, we have finished it. It's devastated. Both factory machinery and crew were covered by flying molten metal. Ugh. A bit of science, better than nothing. And we can look for the source of the yellow particle. We don't really have a choice, to be precise, so we're gonna do that for sure. Production area has been gutted. A huge amount of floating carcasses has been difficult for the team. The Galileo team wishes to specifically note that they found a cryopod containing a dog. Love it. To get 200 cryopod and 29 people. We can now decide to provide a new home for the dog. Yeah, for sure. We want the dog to come with us. We're gonna want to also do that one just now. See it?
Administrator, you can implement a new policy.
No, it's okay. I don't need you. Thank you.
A science ship team has completed a task.
The team followed the trail of yellow particle through the vacuum to another section. It appears to have been at least partially spared. Ooh. Crushed and damaged flowers. A bed of these frozen plants surround a large bronze sculpture. Depiction of Earth, crowned with laurel. Many messages have been left. Okay. Rallying against the perceived enemies of humanity, DOLOS. Against the cynicism that kill up, against the madness which precipitates hell, to perpetuate the genius of humanity and the memory of our life on Earth. Interesting. So should we open the time capsule, or should we leave the wreckage? There's definitely a chance that if we open it, we die. But it feels like we should try it. So let's try it and see what happens. Okay, so let's check it out. We got some nice things and nobody seems to have died. 52 science points and self-cleaning lubricant upgrade. Okay, now it's time to leave the wreckage, and so it is. Oof. No, wait. I should have waited a bit longer, I guess, because this one is now in the storm. And so we're gonna say no. We're gonna say no. We're gonna take obviously all of the science there, and then we're gonna want to start moving. I don't know if it's possible actually to do them all. It seems like the storm is gonna come to me pretty soon now. That's a challenge. That's a challenge. Let's quickly check also what's happening on this side. Administrator, I did not expect this decision. I would remind you that DOLOS regulations prohibit animals on board the Tiqqun. DOLOS doesn't exist anymore. What are you saying? Let's continue and investigate the vegetal zone. So the dog has arrived, and we can decide if we want to respect the sanitary protocols, which basically is a fancy way of saying let's kill it, or officially recognize the dog as a member of the crew. Obviously, you know, if you do that one, you're probably going to lose morale. If you do that one, you're probably going to gain morale, but maybe there's a problem in the future. You know, maybe there's more incidents, something like this. I do still think it's great. Let's do it. Permanent bonus, +1, hopefully for everybody. It is +1 dog. Love it. Love it. Next, let's look at the reactor wreckage. Our sensors have located a section of the ship drifting in space. First report indicates that this is the engine room and reactors. We have arrived there. Only 2 of their massive reactors remain. Initial reconnaissance revealed 3 places of interest. I think you can do all 3 if I remember correctly, so let's just go through them, get some, you know, nice research and things like this. I think there is still a bit of science, but there is basically nothing else left here, by the way. So that means we also...
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
We'll also be it on the timer, right? Because now we're going to continue to use alloy, but we're potentially not making alloy unless, actually, sorry, just thinking about something. I think we need to switch over here to alloy instead of the electronics. We do have, you know, 69 electronics. That's a lot. We don't need that much. So yeah, we're going to switch over there to hopefully make more. It's also good to look from time to time, right? Do you have enough waste in your city? I know I'm not making that much yet, except here. We have started to make, you know, some waste also in those houses, thanks to research. This is this last research here, knee-high quarter protocol. So it is 1 waste per 20 inhabitants over 15 cycles. We can do the same for cell housing over here, but I'm actually working on something else right now, the DLS center. I just did the predictive behavior modeling to reduce the policy cooldown by 5 cycles. But more importantly, I have a couple of others, like more propaganda over here. So yeah, I want to do this one. +1 stability basically for free is definitely a great one. We've also unlocked the water waste treatment. And if you look at this, this is a pretty small building, right? it actually doesn't take that much space. So I think we're going to be able, to reorganize this so that we can fit everything that I want to fit. Wreckage, yeah, first one we get 40 of science, move to the second one, get a bit more science, and here I think we have finished getting everything, okay. We're gonna want to take as much as we can there in case the storm comes all the way. Feels like maybe I should have kept those two for last. Made a bit of a mistake here, it seems. Maybe I should have done these ones first. Interesting. The engines were not supported by a PA or even a basic AI. Instead, crew members were constantly monitoring, adjusting and repairing. And it seemed the living condition of those people were not great. So probably prisoners or rejects from the population. That's not very nice. And last but not least, investigate the engine supervision area. In the food district, we find again some more resource and a great upgrade, personalized instruction upgrade unlock for crop farm. We're gonna check it out just now, but before we need to choose what is the last thing we're gonna do. We want to make a cautious approach or invasively breach. Breaching! So it is, we're gonna get some resources back home, that's great, some people too. Here we have, I think, finished everything, but give me a second. I also wanted to ensure that we do our next research. Look at this, personalized instruction for the crop farm. Food production speed increased by 40%. That is huge. This is gonna make our food sector even more better. Okay, I think we've gotten pretty much everything. There's still a bit more ice, but I'm actually going to say stop getting this ice because we have a lot of ice and that's taking a lot of space. We have those two, okay, 10 more of the science, and now it's gonna be time to leave very soon. But first let me check also that one.
A new request awaits your attention.
So the engine supervision area was mainly occupied by those of rank. Some had time to enter cryopods. Okay, so we're gonna be able, I guess, to get them. There's fragment of codes to alter the BMS. Okay, so they were basically being hacked. So we have the parrot there. We have a bit more cryopods, by the way, and if we leave, I think again we're gonna have a problem. So what I'm thinking now is I'm gonna get those, or maybe let's move the Tiqqun over here. This is pretty close anyway, so that's fine. We're going to skip to go close there. My batteries are going down, of course. I didn't even check, how much battery we have, but that's because we're pretty close. And remember that you lose hull integrity when you are in ETP.
Has occurred in the Tiqqun.
The good thing is that I did do some research to reduce that point.
Entering debris field.
Yeah, I mean, we went from one debris field to another. Doesn't change much. Okay, batteries is full. This is almost full. Good. So we're gonna get, hopefully this cryopods very quickly. It is. We're doing it. Perfect. And so now I think this is the time you've all been waiting for. But before we do this, we just got a new event that popped up out of nowhere. We now have data to analyze the Paranesi hacking protocols. The associated research project can be launched in the tech lab. This should allow us to set up computer protection system to reduce the impact of any digital attack. So it is, we have another one of these. If I press F4 and we check, I get the Paranesi, yes. We can see hacking threat analysis, it's gonna cost 40. So it's not a free one, it does cost, but we probably will want to invest into this. I am unfortunately doing something else right now. So we're gonna have to wait a second before we can do that one. But yeah, as I said, the key thing is here, there's basically not much we can do anymore, right? We have gotten pretty much everything. So it's gonna be time for us to move forward. I think we're gonna start with that one because this is the one that's further apart. So let's leave the wreckage and see if the storm moves. It is moving. It is moving. Is it gonna stop? Okay, it stopped. It stopped over here. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. So now
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
I feel like it is actually giving me the choice to go all the way here. So maybe what we do is we go all the way there with the Tiqqun. We leave one ship there. It's anyway a tier 1 ship. So even if we lose it, it's not the end of the world. Okay, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So those two are on their way to clock P42, so that potentially we could be able to do all of the mission here. There is only one mission. I mean, we've done that one, right? It's just we need to leave this. So if I say leave, I think At that point, all of
Assigned
this
ship has arrived
will
at its
be
destination.
under the storm and will be in trouble. But now that gives me the option to actually do that one. We can just establish a basic colony infrastructure on advanced one. Now, it is expensive, 90 colonists, 90 alloy, but I think we're gonna do it. There is definitely usually more benefits to do that. So let's go. I guess any ship will do, because it's not like anybody is doing anything. The only thing is we need to remember to move our, to move the colonists to the right place. So here it is. This is the ship, yes. So we're gonna need to move colonists over there. So let's see, where are my colonists? I think they're mostly in sector 6. Yes, 100 colonists. So colonists from sector 6 to sector 1, and we need 90. Start the migration. In the meantime, we're delivering some other things, right? So all good there. I have switched those two. Great. Because we're starting to make actually
Accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
quite a bit here of
Population
waste.
transfer complete.
So I think our next sector will definitely be actually waste. We're gonna do a sector just dedicated to waste. But before, let me also maybe finish this sector, because we now unlock the drone bay. Now it's a terrible space. Damn. I don't think there is any way I'm gonna be able to use that space, because it's only 2. The only way could be if we actually delete some of this road, but then that means this farm here will have to go all the way around, unless I put some storage of food also on this side. And it is, the temporary test colony has now been established. The colonists will periodically transport a report of their progress, which is basically giving me science, at least it was like last time. This will provide us with valuable field data. Let's end the listening protocol, and at that point, again, we can check if we're gonna get this or not. Like, let's see if we see some... I don't see... Oh, here it is. Yeah, no, so we are getting... Okay, we don't have to leave yet. So I think that is a bit like kind of the cheat, is you wait to get all of the, science, and at some point they're probably gonna tell us, okay, there's no more science, and at that point, we will start moving. So that means we have a bit more science. Let's see what we should be doing. I am actually eyeing this one over here. Water, a waste consumption cost is reduced by 25 to get us the water. Because with this, I could have my whole...
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Okay, accident. I could have, the whole water need of a sector, and in particular my food sector, with just 25 waste. Like, that is not a lot. Now, to be able to do this, we need the Aquarius assembly line in the fusion station. So this is over here. I have done the first one already. Now we are unlocking the second. What is the third, by the way? Oh, we're producing more water with the same amount of ice. Okay, that's pretty good too. I mean, anyway, it may be a good idea to still do these technologies in case, I don't have enough waste. I will have this to support my water. Here it is, ladies and gents. I think this is the end. I just got the science ship has retrieved all science from this place. We got, an event. So we're gonna click on it. They actually don't tell us the event. Okay, I think we have to leave the planet first for them to tell us the event. Oh, and now we see it. Yeah, we have finished our colonization test. Colonization success rate of planet like P42 are estimated to be 25%. That's a lot better. Please authorize extraction. So either we repatriate them or we sever the connection. Okay, I mean, now let's repatriate them, no? There's no reason why not. It's gonna take 2 turns, but because we're still there, the storm still hasn't moved. Oh no, it is moving. So let's do the same, this one at the, also. Ooh.
Entering stellar storm.
So we have entered the storm now, right? We're basically all in the storm, but the storm has moved, so this side is not in the storm anymore. So basically we're gonna want to move over there, right? But to be able to do this, we're gonna need to move our Tiqqun and any ship that, is still there. So this is why obviously I had no mining ships that was playing, but we do also need to take back our, Galileo and Copernicus. This one is pretty easy. There's nothing left, so we're gonna tell him back to the Tiqqun as soon as possible. He probably will die, right? It's very far. This one hopefully will not die. The question is, do we wait 2 turns or not? And we're gonna try it.
A ship has been destroyed by
So,
a space weather event.
This one is already dead. Okay, that was quick. Now we have 2 cycles before this one can come back. It cannot come back before the 2 cycles are done, otherwise our people are gonna die. And that's basically the decision. Do you want your people to die? Do you want to risk this one dying? Okay, we're almost there.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
That's not great. We lost a lot of integrity in one go. So if I check over here too, maybe we lost some solar panels. No, we didn't lose solar panels, but we did lose a lot of integrity. So this is why we're gonna want to be moving as soon as we can. Like, there's still 1 cycle though, so we need to wait for that. I may put on, I have a force hull repair, like EVA. We may put that one on, but that's gonna consume a lot of alloy if I do this though. Okay, we're almost there. And done.
Ship team has completed a task.
So we have replicated them, good. We're gonna bring this back. And we're just sending a ship to get the colonies back, alright? It's taking a second, come on. You can do it. Oh, it's taking long. Okay, there's 24 that are left. You can do it. And then we're gonna need to move into speed. Here it is, it's done. We've brought them back, okay? So if I check over here, right? We brought everybody back. There is an event there, so let's check it out quickly. Oh, it has emerged that the concerning result of our earlier colonization test had been leaked, leading to many in the crew to believe we are delaying the hour humanity ends. Oof, we got a -1 permanent, that's not great. Maybe I should have just left them there. Now, what we're gonna do as always is make sure that we pause everything that's not really necessary. So definitely, you know, all of these are not needed at all while we're moving. Same for this, they are anyway not being used right now. This is empty. Okay, so that way we are using a lot less electricity. Let's do the same over here. We're gonna leave that one on. This maybe we leave that on. Now let's pray that it was enough. There is nothing. Well, let me check if there's any point of interest that is close by here, because then we could stop at this point of interest. I think there's something here. Yeah, there's one here. The problem is, yeah, it's gonna take a long time for the prop to arrive. So no, we're gonna need to go all the way there, which is definitely gonna take us more time. Let's check it. 4 cycle, that's actually not too bad because of the increase in speed for research, right, that we've done. So it is. Let's move, ladies and gents, and hope for the best. I'm gonna do a time lapse of this. Let's see if there's any events. Okay, we are out of the storm. That is great. That is great. Now we just have a problem that this one is going fast, but this is fine. There's not that much here. This one is also going, but we're almost there. Those two, there's definitely a lot left, so all good. Yeah, we're gonna have some people unhappy there for a bit. Okay, so it is. We are back into a new planet. So we're recharging, all good. I'm gonna restart everything. Yeah, I'm not surprised because that's the place where we didn't have electricity for a while, so my people were probably a bit unhappy for a bit. But yeah, again, the good thing is we have survived. Now we have access to a lot of new point of interest. There was again also one that was hiding somewhere over there, and maybe there's others. Now what I'm gonna want to do though is first send a probe, hopefully pretty close to here, to try to find the iron, right? Because we're getting a bit low on iron. So let's do this. A few minutes later, I've built a second science ship because we lost our previous one, right? I'm sending it, or I just sent it over here to Crux EP51. So we actually found a planet there. We found also another planet over here, and actually we're going there for, I think, also the same one. We are also starting this one, the pressurized the district. I've also found some resources. You know, we had a couple here, I'm doing some there. So we're restarting all of our productions, and we're actually pretty high on many of these resources. So I think we're gonna use this time now to go into F2 and build our final panel, solar panel, right? We already had everything on line 1. Now we're doing the last one on line 2. So that's really powerful. Similarly for research, we've already done a lot, but there's also still a lot remaining. I've been working on this side here. You know, I improved, for example, the transfer of how much iron does it take to create alloy. I've also been working on these ones. And so we're gonna do this final one here to get a lot of water if we ever need it. And then we can do the final water treatment where, you know, we've already reduced our waste consumption, and now we can reduce also the power cost. So then after this, I think we'll definitely be able to put on our new sector of food and maybe open a new sector. This is a bit of a classic one. Intrusive analysis with explosive, a small study center or a big one. I always go with the big one. Actually, let's check also this pressurized R&D district. We can either search the residential area or search the laboratory. Okay. Laboratory probably has more science points. So let's go there. Oh, we found already... There's already some cryopods, okay. The laboratories were severely damaged. Most equipment has either been destroyed or missing. Okay. Recovered research mentioned DOLOS, BMS, and Ashpangit invention being studied. Also noted in the report that the quarters location, okay, they possess an accreditation required to open, so we got, you know, a key. We also got a lot of people, almost 1,000, so that's great. Now we can decide to locate it or leave. And let's try to locate it, see what happens. Continuing to find resources, by the way, right? Over here we've delivered, I think, most of the resource. Check. Oh no, we're delivering it now. So it's gonna take a bit of time, ladies and gents, but most importantly, we have finished this. All of the panels are done. Love it.
A science ship team has completed a task.
Okay, so let's see what they found. We have discovered unusual bacterial formation. Oof. We get at least 46 science, and now we can conduct further tests or we can leave. And let's conduct further tests. No reason to leave just yet. We did continue to do some research. I'm improving now the drone because we're gonna start basically putting drone bays in multiple places. I have actually built one in my food place. Oh, it's not built actually, sorry. We're gonna unpause it so we can build it. Now, I'm not super happy with it, but as you can see, we have fit the drone bay as well as a water treatment center. We still have all of these depots over here, and I have space for quite a lot of these batteries, so that feels good to me. You know, I think
science ship team has completed a task.
there's too many things happening. I think we have, you know, a lot of storage for sure. I do see what's happening over here. Oh, there wasn't damage. Okay, that's probably one of the battery. Yeah, the battery is exploded. Okay, so we're gonna need to do some rework of these, but the cool thing is I think this one is basically done. So I'm going to, you know, we have made a lot of water with that ice. I don't think we're gonna store more ice than this. Like, this is a good amount of ice because in the future we can just use this, right? Which is with 25 of waste, we can get water compensation for the whole sector, right? So that is really good. That is really good. I'm gonna have the storage just next to it, right? So it's easy to deliver back and forth. And yeah, I mean, happiness is still good over here, so that's not a problem. How are we doing in terms of policies? We are, you know, waste obviously is very important. Propaganda is an important one for sure. And then we're normal on food and normal on working hours for now. But I feel like now that we're gonna put those things on, right? Hopefully we're gonna start making a lot.
Warning. A sector is being overworked.
Oh yeah, we don't have enough workers. So let me actually see how many workers we need when the whole thing is working. We're gonna need 250, so we need 150 more. Okay, okay, that is quite a lot of workers, but that's okay. I can send that, I mean, hopefully. A couple of cycle later, ladies and gents, we have found, I think, everything that there is. So there's quite a lot, as you can see, a lot of resources, but also a lot of points of interest. But most importantly, I have, I think, finished Sector 5. Sector 5 over here is working really well. You can see it has 1,280 people. I think that's the... yeah, we could get 100 more into it if we want to. We have a bit more than what's needed, and everything is working. We have, to recap, 4 farms fully upgraded in the middle. I'm going to tell you just in a second how much that is. We have quite a bit of reserves. Over here we have, for example, our waste that's going to then be transformed into water if I turn that on. We have the actual water with a fusion station, right, using some ice, and then a lot of food, right, food there, food there, food there, and then our drone bay, right, to send all of this food everywhere in the base, and then a lot of houses here. In terms of happiness, we had +3 right now, so this is pretty good, right? Can't complain, can't complain. And yeah, I've started to delete basically the food in all the others. I mean, there's still a bit there, but because we're just making too much, right? So one of these is making 15 per cycle. We have 4. So that's 60 per cycle, right? 60. But remember, your people, they only eat every 5 cycles. So you multiply that by 5, that means we're making 300 of food every time we need to eat. But then remember that in the normal basic food, one food can feed 20 people, right? So you multiply that by 20, we are now talking about 6,000 people. But that's not all. This is if you put, this policy of normal food. If we go to restricted, we're gonna have 16, right? So 32. So that's gonna be now 300 times 32. That would be almost 10,000 people. So if you're okay with, the -1 stability of restricted food, you can feed basically 10,000 people with just this one here. So this is a really powerful one. I hope you like it. Don't hesitate, of course, to take a screenshot of it. Pretty proud. Again, I feel like here I could do it slightly better, but it works. It's fine. Don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below, though, if you have any way to make this any better. As I said before, I've started to take out, so now we have a bit more space. I've started to put more of these cryonic centers because we have quite a bit of cryonic pods, and I'm sure we're gonna find many more. Then next is, I think it's gonna be time for us to start creating a really good waste sector, right? A sector where we just do waste. That's the only thing we do there. Then maybe we'll do also one sector where we just put EVAs, right? A sector sort of full of this alloy, probably next to this one, because that way we can create alloy for free, and then just put tons of EVA. Hope you're excited with this. Smash like button, and I hope to see you next time.